See you too.
As a channel member, we want to have stuff for you guys. What we plan to do, of course, have those emojis, a bonk emoji.
Yeah.
We want to do comic strips for you guys to kind of keep our characters and comics out there, keep the creative blood flowing, and just little strips, maybe monthly.
Develop notifications, sub if you haven't. We're trying to make the best content we can out here and do something more like a podcast.
Let's get out of here. I've had enough of this.
Ooh, what a rush!
Hey yo, 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 hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo. All right, for a minute there I thought you lost it. Whoa. Hey yo.
Fill it in a few different times just to kind of get a real deep color. And then kind of go in here at the bottom.
Who are those guys?
Your brothers? No.
Yes! Beginning to get on my nerves. Who are those guys? I couldn't do that. Could you do that? How can they do that? Who are those guys?
The fucking Diaz brothers!
Connor, I know the media has a ton of questions for you, so I just want to ask you, what do you think of this turnout?
Yeah, fuck the Diaz brothers, yeah? Fuck those cockroaches!
Welcome to the Diaz Brothers Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Studio Z. It is Friday night, CGIF. Tonight's special guest, Adam Lawson, talking about his book. But first, let's get to it. The Diaz Brothers.
Hello, man. Our announcer got a little stage right there for a second. What happened? A little weird.
Frog in throats. Frog in throats. What is up, everybody? It is Friday. We are back. It's 6:30 Central Time, 6:38. And we're back with the Diaz Brothers Show. Back together, Brandon. You weren't here last week.
Right. I feel like every other weekend I'm not at home.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I'm
true.
always
Somewhere else, always.
somewhere else for some reason.
But first, let us know if you guys could hear us. How do we sound, guys?
Am I coming in clear? Hey, Mom, I said, am I coming in clear?
Hopefully you guys can. You guys heard the announcement. We are going to have a special guest tonight. We've been doing this, on and off.
Oh.
I kind of like it too, because, you have the Diaz Brothers portion of the show, last half hour, do a little promotion, call some other guys out. So we will have, I think, Adam Lawson on maybe
Brian Christgau, because they have a book
Whoa.
that's crowdfunding right now. Looks pretty awesome. Lots of books going on. Lots of people launching. We're getting into that the end of summertime. Would you say end of summertime's coming?
I think it already happened. I
When?
heard, what was it? It wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago, right? Or was it yesterday? Starbucks comes out with the pumpkin spice.
That's right. It was yesterday.
Spirit Halloween stores are now open,
Mm-hmm.
at least in our area.
The Meteor Man saying that it's the hottest day of
Yeah,
the
hottest day
decade.
on in the history of mankind.
Right.
Maybe according to the new meteorologists that are out there, it's the hottest day the planet has ever
Ever
seen in its entire existence, all going back the full 13 billion years.
That's what mainstream archaeology says. People want to see the shirt, Brandon.
Yeah, I made a decision this morning to put this shirt on. I saw it in the pile and I was like, I got to rep Cheems or the Rip Cheems. So Cheems live on the shirt here.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we could start the show with the death. There's been so many deaths here. So I guess we could cue this up because since you guys are talking about Cheems already.
It's time for the death of the week.
Death of the week. We saw this on Monday. We talked about this.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I have it pulled up here somewhere. Cheems, as you guys know, the bonking dog, he has passed, unfortunately.
Yeah, cancer. I didn't even know he was sick.
Yeah, I didn't know either. He's 12 years old, passed from cancer. And pour one out for Cheems.
Pulled a Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, we didn't even know.
I had no idea.
Paul
Rubens.
He didn't tell anybody. Paul Rubens as well.
Yeah, Cheems now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strange year for sure.
Yeah, so Rip Cheems. Other notable deaths, Terry Funk, who I'm pretty sure was in Roadhouse. Can I get a fact checker on that in the chat? Was Terry Funk in Roadhouse? And then Bray Wyatt, which was a big one, big upset. No one knew it was coming. 36 years old. And I had a video pulled up.
Yeah, that one's a little sus.
That one's, I would say it's
big sus.
I'd say it's big sus.
Oh.
Here he is. Now, this is what I wanted to pull up. Oh my God. Can I get this?
Oh man.
You guys could hear it.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
Look at my screen, Brandon.
It sounds fantastic.
Here we go. This is what I have to deal with.
It's amazing.
All right. The audio doesn't really matter, but what matters is
it's good because it's all we can take in right now is the audio.
Bray Wyatt wearing a Lobo shirt.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the good ones, guys. Working out.
There's a conspiracy. They took him down because he was wearing a Lobo shirt.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Brady was sure it was government. But there he is, Bray Wyatt passing. You know what Bray Wyatt's real name was?
Braid Wyatt.
No. What's his real name? Anybody?
I figured you would have known here.
Wyndham is his first name.
Wyndham
Otunga.
Why the hell didn't he use that name? That name kicks ass.
Such a cool name. Just use that name. I mean, I guess it was, Wyndham Rotunda.
Well, Rotunda is not nearly as cool as Otunga.
Well, I'm dyslexic. But that's still a cool name. Rotunda.
Yeah, Rotunda's not that cool.
No,
Otunga is cool.
It's cool. So Rip, this is not even Bray Wyatt. Who is this guy? Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. So rest in peace to those. Wyndham Rotunda, not Otunga. Yeah, he was not Hawaiian. I forgot. He's just a white guy.
Well, he could have been like twice or thrice removed.
Yeah. Could have been thrice. All a very sudden death. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So all the bonks go out to them, and especially Cheems this week.
He's bonking angels in heaven now. Cheeseburgers every day.
That's right. Let's say hi to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. I know there's a lot of people streaming on the CGIF lineup, the Diaz brothers here Friday night, starting you off right. Noah, the first one. Who would have thunk? Noah,
what's up?
MacTootie in the chat here. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Is that a welcome back Cotter reference? The oldest 12-year-old in the chat. Bobby Crucifix is here. Good to see you, buddy. Rand Nada. Atherline. Look at Atherline. Dude, no joke. I was in someone else's chat. Wait, it says Atherline.
Yo. I was just thinking.
Yeah,
like,
because I saw you in another chat and it's Atherline. The universes collided into themselves again. Is this a cyclical thing that happens? It's like a seasonal thing where some things change different times of the year.
There's sometimes I can imagine this. Maybe we have gone into another reality again.
Jesus!
I don't believe it. So if you guys didn't know, Atherline.
Guys, did Nelson Mandela die in prison? Answer.
Atherline is right here for a strain of like 4 months. His name, or unless it's someone else, was Arthur Line.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we're like, I thought it was Atherline. We've always been saying Atherline.
Right.
What is going on?
This goes down to me knowing, I know that I have switched universes before because I have this really nice spider jacket sweater that's like a knit sweater thing.
Okay.
And it had a real long string coming out of the sleeve. And I was so mad. And I was like, because it's going to start unraveling. So I was thinking like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to fix this thing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get the needle and like put the string back in here. I wake up the next day, the string absolutely not there.
Really?
Yes, absolutely not there. Now,
as if it was never there?
As if it was never there. I didn't cut it off because I would not could have cut it off because it would have been short and it would have started unraveling. Now, the other day, I did have another string incident and it was very, very unusual. It was not to that extent, but it was like, why is there this 3-foot long string hanging off of this shirt that I wear all the time? And it wasn't there before. And it was this giant string. So something's going on. Well, this might be that thing, and like in the Matrix, when the mouse sees the cat walk past twice, or whoever sees the cat.
The mouse? Oh, mouse.
Yeah.
You're talking about the character mouse.
Yeah. Or who sees it?
Somebody
sees the cat.
it.
Somebody sees the cat.
Obviously,
And I see the string. There's this string that happens.
Yeah.
And that's how I know that I've jumped universes.
Grimmer's in the chat. What's up, Grimmer?
What's up?
Grimmer, that face right there is a Bray Wyatt mask.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
It's horrifying.
Yeah. Well, when Bray Wyatt was it the Fiend or the Demon? Or I got them confused. Ran out of Citizen Rona. Angela Curry is here. Good to see you, Angela Curry. Scrolling down. Scrolling. Gordon Goodbrother. Good to see you, brother. Scrolling. Hey, Snarticon. F.U. Pumpkin Spice. Yeah. You needed a pumpkin spice fix, which was weird because like the day before, here's another weird Matrix thing. You were like, oh man, pumpkin spice is coming, and then the next day,
yeah, the notification came out that pumpkin spice was released,
and then we went.
Right. I enjoy pumpkin pie, and as such, I enjoy pumpkin spice flavored other things.
You got Cranberry Laners in the chat. Yeah, I had this apple crisp espresso thing, and I've never had shaken espresso,
yeah.
And never had espresso before. It wasn't great.
Well, you saw her shaking it though, and you were like, "Oh man, she's shaking it."
Yeah, it didn't. I just wanted apple flavored something.
Yeah. What did it taste like? Did it taste apple crispy?
It smelled apple crispy.
Okay.
And there was kind of a hint, but the thing was the espresso tasted like burnt coffee.
Yeah, espresso is very strong.
It tastes like if it was burnt.
Or it can be.
I didn't even finish it. We do have a super chat though. Angela Curry for $2. Thank you, Angela. I want that shirt. Happy Friday, cheersies. And I assume she's talking about your shirt.
Yeah, my shirt here. I just ordered it off of Amazon or
She could
something.
be talking about my Jim Lee Gambit.
You can't even see your shirt from behind the screen.
She's X-ray vision. Thank you, and paying tribute to Cheems. Here's your ball. Terry Funk was in Over the Top as well. There you go, Over the Top.
Well, there's a wrestling thing, right?
Oh, arm wrestling. It's two different things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see.
You're thinking of No Holds Barred.
Barred?
Yeah. All right. Scrolling down, everybody. Keely Chow. Great name.
Hey, everybody. What's
Keely
going
Chow?
on? Just hanging around.
Friday Night Tights raid. I highly doubt that Friday Night Tights raid into us, but I appreciate it. To everybody who was over there, welcome. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. We do this every Friday, so maybe we'll get the Friday Night Tights guys to raid into us every Friday.
Yes,
I'd be fine with that. Let them know, guys. All right, scrolling. Another super. Is this Angela again? Angela again. For another $2, Atherline is Australian. So she's saying that he doesn't even exist.
Ooh.
Australian.
So this is like the sequel where they get a different actor because they couldn't afford.
Well, it's a shift
actor.
change, right?
It's a shift change. Yeah.
The actors
I
are
could see that.
switching right there. That's interesting. We all know Australia. Probably somewhere in Texas because Texas is so large.
Yeah. Did you see those sandworms? These videos that are coming out on Twitter of those sandworms, and then they put like a fish, like a dead fish or like a cut up fish on the beach, and then there's like a little thing. Then they grab them with needle nose pliers and they pull out this giant sandworm, and it's like 3 feet long.
I might have seen something like that a while ago.
They're apparently in Australia, and it's
Would I be able to find them?
making me not want to go to
If I
Australia.
looked it up, like a Australian sandworm. We give you this bonk, and I'll try to find these sandworms. This one's All right, I think I found the sandworms.
Yeah, there you go.
This is
Australia is essentially the moon landing, but every day. It's better than that Indian moon.
We got to talk about some moon landings. All right, now this is looking good so far.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Let's see
How
what's
to
going on
catch
here.
beach worms? Why in the world would you want to do
It
this?
seemed pretty easy.
Yeah, you just bait them.
Let me see if there's
It's gonna be
surfing.
What you want to do here?
Is this just a commercial to go to Australia?
Yeah. Get
Australia.
stung by those impossibly venomous jellyfish.
Oh, should we have an accent?
Let's hear it.
The island we're on, there's a fair bit of whiting and brim, which like worms.
You can't even understand.
Is that Jason
what
Momoa?
you're
So I thought I'd show you guys how to catch the
Find some
worms.
sandworms
Pop
here.
their heads up. They're trying to get any nutrients that are floating past in that receding water. They like to be on the sandbanks in between two gutters usually. Yeah. They're not too
New
far
South
under the sand.
Wales,
Pick
maybe.
them up with your hands.
I don't know anything about
you
Australia.
She squirted.
That one's not that long.
To catch some worms,
Yeah,
you'll
what
probably
was that?
only
Wasn't a
need
sand
looked more like a
worm.
mussel.
2 to 3 pippies, depending how many of you are worming.
Australia is the real life
person.
savage land
So
from
3 will
X-Men.
be plenty for us to get
She's
some
not wearing the
worms.
right attire for savage
So
land.
really,
He does have the
you
hair
need
though.
the worms to eat, but you also need
Keepies.
some old
Keepies.
fish
Oh,
bait,
keepies.
like a bait bag with some old fish heads or
Smelly
fish
fish
skeletons in them.
bag.
And that way the worms don't pop their heads up until they smell food. Yeah, so we'll go get
Oh,
that.
so that's
as
what you're
well.
talking about? You
Now we-
need dead fish to attract these worms?
Yeah, like could you imagine just sitting on the beach though?
Even the
You got to
outgoing
bring it
part,
if you want to catch these
And
worms.
then these worms.
Right. Why do you want to catch these worms?
I don't want to catch the worms.
I'm just saying anyone. Like, why does she want to catch them?
Gordon Gerler is saying they need the worms to eat for the week.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah, the
So,
strict
beach worms are
Bobby
usually
Chrysippus
on your
is
open beaches. They're
thinking,
pretty hard to spot.
or he's
They
saying out
don't-
loud what I was thinking. And then what if you're sitting on the beach and then you get attacked
by sandworms?
Yeah, because of
have an eye out for them. You got to have some fish bait. So something I prepared earlier.
God damn it! How many worms? How long does it take to get?
No, you have to go to the most watched part of the video.
All right, what's that?
It's right. No, it's this
This
peak
one?
right here. Yeah, there you go. Most replayed.
All right.
That's a way to keep fresh worms.
It's probably her bending.
It's her bending over
the camera.
Definitely. Why the hell is it so long?
Yeah, that's
Maybe just to
starting
anchor
dry
them
out.
in the.
Still there.
I wonder if you have to like entice them with the bag, like
Yeah, that's what
shake
they
the
do.
bag
So
around.
in the other videos, the guy
I
had
know
like
you
a
see like the sand drying out.
fresh piece of fish from the store. It was like a fish tail.
Yeah.
And then he rubbed it on the sand, and then the sandworm came out. But like, I'm sure you kind of have to already know where the worm is, right? They don't
Unless they're
just
everywhere.
find it. Yeah, unless
This
they are
beach is
everywhere. This
mostly
disgusting.
sandworm. So
It's
there's only
a
a thin layer,
of
sand,
sand on the
on
top.
top.
Yeah, this is awful. I don't like sandworms.
Oh yeah.
Oh
look,
yeah.
she's
Why
doing it.
isn't this the most replayed part of the video?
Oh, look how got a real sandworm. Bancroft and Rob Arnold should do this.
They never mention these worms, yet they keep inviting
Why did
people to go to Australia.
Why did she want them though? I don't understand. What's she gonna do with them now?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't.
Look at all that protein, Gordon Brothers says. Those are the things that get in your body and then control you after a while, right?
Mhm. Yeah, parasites. Just like that Korean film.
Old Boy.
Yes. Yeah, he was doing some unscrupulous things.
We were talking about Old Boy yesterday, and I'm
Who?
like, the creative block.
Oh God.
Yeah. Irene brought it up because it's one of the 3 movies she's ever seen,
Mm,
right? Which she
Mhm.
said.
yeah.
I think it was Old Boy.
And
I
then
can't remember.
the remake of Old
remake of
Boy,
Old
the
Boy, and
American
Parasite.
remake. Yeah.
But and then I'm like, yeah, I didn't enjoy Parasite. Or no, I did enjoy Parasite. I didn't enjoy Old Boy.
Oh yeah. I didn't see
And-
Parasite.
But yeah, what did you think about Old Boy?
I saw both of them. I didn't enjoy either of them.
Either of them?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, the American one sucks. I didn't see the American one.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The
It was,
first one I saw, it seemed like it was 4.5 hours long. And then there was this the twist payoff was not
Right. So
good,
the
I
Korean one had the flaw with the Korean one for me is that it's in Korean, right?
Mhm.
And then it has the subtitles and
Right.
stuff. And I guess there's dubs or whatever, but it's very, very I don't know. It's like artsy or something. I don't know. It's too involved. And then the remake is not, it's like they tried to be artsy, but then they made the movie on purpose. Like that kind of a thing where like they really, really wanted it to be something, but they changed it for an American audience. I don't know.
Bobby
Don't
says
watch 'em.
Vaughn's a big Old Boy stan.
I'm sure
I'm
he
not into
is.
I'm not into it. The twist, I don't know.
He's
unexperienced
probably,
by
it
it.
reminds him of all the times that he got hit in the head with a hammer.
I would say Old Boy insists upon itself,
Right.
you know? But everyone was blowing me up in the chat for not liking Old Boy. I think Vaughn was blowing me up too.
Well,
what did Angela
whatever.
Curry? Has Angela Curry seen this film? I don't like The Notebook. Yeah, but James Marsden and Ryan Gosling are both in The Notebook.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I've never seen The Notebook.
Yeah, you don't have to watch.
Have you heard of this show Jury Duty?
No.
Okay, imagine a show.
Is it like the Pauly Shore movie?
No. Is that called Jury Duty?
Mm-hmm.
No, I've never seen it. It's a TV show, and it's on Free TV or Free V. So if you guys want to watch it,
What is
it's
that?
like 7 episodes. I don't know. You just get it on
Internet?
your Roku thing. The hell is? But has anybody in the chat seen Jury Duty? It's
The show, not the movie.
TV show, not the movie. Okay, it's a TV show. Imagine a show that is filmed like The Office.
Okay. There's a lot of them.
Where it's like
very,
documentary style, right?
Right.
Thing.
They hands covering the lenses a lot.
They didn't do any of that.
No.
But the people have seen the movie. People are saying hell no. I'd say check it out. It's pretty funny. But here's the thing: it's about one trial,
Mhm.
and it's about jury duty,
Uh-huh.
and everyone is an actor in the trial and the judge and everything, except for one guy.
Oh,
It's like
so it's like Joe Schmo show. Yeah.
mixed with The Office, but in jury duty.
Huh. And then they have to like, it's just a whole setup.
Yeah.
Right? Huh.
And it's
That's funny.
I think it was they did it for a few months. That it took like 3 months to shoot. And it's funny. And there's parts where it's like, there's no way this guy is not an actor.
Yeah.
Because he says things that are like, yeah, that seems like it was scripted to say it. But then in the last episode, they recap everything, and after it's exposed, and like they show the producers when he says that thing, they're like, there's no way that that's the perfect thing that we needed him to say.
That's
so
awesome.
It was really cool. And the funny thing is, James Marsden is in it. You know, Cyclops from X-Men.
Yeah.
But he plays himself being James Marsden, ordered to do jury duty.
Yeah.
And when he introduces them to the non-actor guy, he's like, I don't know, who are you? And he's like, oh, I was in The Notebook. And
I would be,
I just
dude.
did Sonic.
I don't think I would recognize James Marsden
No?
if he came up. You recognize some guy who is a voice actor who came into the arcade. I wouldn't recognize an on-screen actor standing right in front of me.
Yeah, it's funny. So if you guys, it probably came out a couple years ago, and go watch it. It's pretty good. Some funny moments. Bobby says Cyclops sucks.
Yeah, I guess it's been long enough where there hasn't really been
Something like that.
a show with that format, like Joe Schmo show
Yeah.
or something along those lines, because those were hilarious.
Yeah.
They did 2 of them. The first one was perfect, and then the second one, the guy figured it out, and they had to bring him in, and they had 2 people. And it was luckily that they had 2 people, because one of them figured it out, and they had to be like, yo, we got to keep running this gag. Yeah.
Yeah, the show's pretty new. It's funny though. It's a quick watch. It's like 7 episodes.
Angela Curry wants to know who came into the arcade.
So, I mean, some people, if you guys are Star Wars fans, you'll know this guy. What's his name? Sam Winnick? Whitworth? Sam Witwer?
Right there, American actor.
Yeah, Sam Witwer. God, I'm so good with these things. Sam Witwer. If you're a fan of the Steven movie adaptation of The Mist, that's the one with the monsters, right? There's The Mist and the Fog.
Yeah.
The Mist with Thomas Jane. I guess Sam Witwer was in it. It's on his IMDb. But he did the voice for one of the big video games, like the Star Killer video game that was like 10 years ago. He was like the model for him as well, and he did the voice.
Oh, the Star Wars. Yeah.
And then he also did like
Force Unleashed guy.
Darth. Who's the cool guy?
Maul.
Darth Maul. I think he did Darth Maul voice in one of the Clone series. He was Force Unleashed, which was pretty big back in the day. So he's from the area, and he came in with some old guy into the arcade. And I'm pretty sure he didn't pay to get in.
Whatever, these celebrities.
Yeah.
Force Unleashed was free like 2 years ago on Xbox, so I downloaded it. it's so linear and compartmentalized. Like you just walk into a room and then there's 4 bad guys in there and you kill them. And then you go down the hall and then there's a door and you go into there and then there's 3 guys in there and you kill them. Oh man, it's like video games have changed so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the reason I probably really recognize him is because he used to be on Collider, which is a YouTube channel probably like 8 years ago. I don't know if they probably still are, but and Collider was like movie news, comic book news, and they would have like this conglomerate of different channels, and then obviously based in LA, so they would grab other geeky YouTubers to come in and do this game show called the Schmo Show, which is funny. And it was a trivia show about pop culture, and then he was on it. He would come in because he knows like a bunch about Star Wars, and he would it was, looking back, it was pretty soy. You're right, Bobby.
It only got soy after that one guy died.
Who died?
That guy, the one guy. I forget what his name was. He was like the heavyset guy. He was always sweaty. He was sweaty, remember? Big sweaty.
Oh yeah, dude, he was awesome.
Right. He died, and then the whole thing went downhill.
He died.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he had his own show.
He was a producer or writer for like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And he died.
He was the one that was like, to my sweaties out there, right?
Yeah, he'd call everybody his sweaties. Yeah, he was does anybody know what we're talking about? I feel like the only people that watched that show were in our office, and it was you and I. And
then Jeremiah would come in and then occasionally do a trivia answer.
Porkins?
He kind of looked like him.
No, I feel like I knew someone that knew that guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to find out later.
Yeah, Sam Witwer. Do you have to pull up a picture of this guy?
The sweaty guy?
No, Sam Witwer. Is a
big sweaty.
He's got like a butt chin. Take a look at this butt chin. And he was in The Mist. That's about it. Star Wars Clone Wars, The Mist, Smallville, Solo. I think he was Darth Maul's voice in Solo. I think that's what it was. Super Grill.
Super Grill?
Yeah. Look, there's Ray Park.
Yeah.
It's the better of the Darth Mauls. He was involved with Metalocalypse 2, I think. Yeah, see, Bobby knows who we're talking about. What's his name?
Sweaty?
The sweaty guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a producer on Metalocalypse. Or came up with it. I'm not sure.
Somebody will figure it out.
Yes,
yeah. After he died, it just completely train wrecked. But
that's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of train, did you see the newest skin in Call of Duty, Brandon?
Yeah, of course.
Now this is the skin that I'm going to play as.
Playtime is over when Nikki drops in.
Dude.
Pull up in the monster automobile gangster.
True American Nicki Minaj right here.
Yeah, bass.
Yeah. American icon. John Schnepp.
John Schnepp, that's right.
There you go.
Thank you, Bobby.
You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer.
Yeah. If it's anything like Coco right now, his spirit in the afterworld just glue a little bit. Somebody said John Schnepp.
Yeah,
somebody remembered him.
Pour it out for John Schnepp. He was cool. He used to do like around the town, like he'd take celebrities to comic shops. That was cool. And they would buy stuff.
Yeah. They
cool
do remember
series.
him doing that.
He did that with the guys from the Black Eyed Peas. Remember that? Taboo.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
Apple.
The Apple. Yeah. I remember
Good
seeing
memories.
that. He was a very weird looking guy.
Speaking of Taboo, we got Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty.
Angela Curry saying the butt is not big enough. Well, there was a picture. The reason I saw this was somebody on Twitter was like, did Nicki Minaj have like total control rights about how big her ass had to be on the character model in this game?
Yeah, let me see if I can find a picture.
And then one of the guys in the office over here said, all right, that's fine, but there better be a hitbox on that because if I shoot her in there, she's going down. And it would make sense because when you see her running around, she's a little bit smaller up top. Like her shoulders aren't as wide as the male characters, so she's gonna have to compensate. Yeah, let's just broadcast this whole
It's not
screen here.
Sports Illustrated.
I didn't send you the on Twitter the message itself.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but
Christopher says no respect to John Schnepp, but it looked like if Kramer and Newman fused into one person. Yeah, it's not untrue.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
this is what we got to see.
That everyone wants to see. We don't need the giant screen. Put it on the other thing.
I'll put it on the other one. Yeah. So yeah, Shady's like, who's gonna play as this? And I think everybody's gonna play as her just for the lols.
Yeah, the lols, of course.
We live in a meme society.
Look at the hair. That's
Perfect
hilarious.
Shiny.
Yeah. That's me right now.
Yeah. And you got the shininess there, so that could be blinding to your opponents.
This here, though, the rendering on whatever this is so much better than the in-game rendering, though. See, like the in-game model is not nearly as textured and stuff.
This is like
texturing here looks awesome.
Character menu or whatever.
But they've already ruined all video games with Fortnite and every character's in there. And so, I mean, whatever, this is fine. Except I don't play the multiplayer games. So it's kind of whatever, like it also never happened. They put her in Red Dead Redemption 3. I'm down.
Cowboy hat on?
Yeah.
We got a deranged.
I want her, Red Dead Redemption 3, and then I want Ken from the Barbie movie in his cowboy outfit.
That would be awesome. Shelby Robertson says everything smells like burnt toast today.
You may be having a stroke.
That might be what that is. Or check your toaster.
When I was outside going to the gym, it smelled like a Mexican restaurant outside. It was delicious.
It's probably because there's one across the street.
It's probably because there's 5 Mexican restaurants within walking distance of the office. Yeah. But yeah, it smelled so good outside.
Her ass is equal to the distance to her knee.
Give me a second. I'm going to see if this guy's here.
All right, awesome. While Brandon does that, so this is big news. Today, we get relieved of all of the excess boxes of cash grab. Hopefully. So Brandon's shaking his finger and saying no. I don't know what that means. But hopefully today or tomorrow. So those are shipping back to Cecil. A job well done on all fronts here. And we'll get much more space in our studio. We have some updates, guys, for you. Updates for those beautiful patrons that have purchased prints off of the Zaid Comics site. We have the awesome Kelsey Shannon Shank print. Let me get it off the sticks here. Do a little zoom in. As you can see, Shank and the deadly Vixen character from the Shank book. Very sexy there. These have gotten back to us. They're signed. And I think there's 10 left on the site, but they're all signed. We're shipping them out this weekend and next week. So they all should be, if you order them, they all should be heading to you by the end of next week. Those we also have, you can see behind me, the Crimstone prints as well on the site that we'll sign for you, send them off. Made these for Tampa, and these are the extras that we have. So you guys can grab them from the Zaid Comics website. Came out awesome. And look at that. The funny thing, I was looking at this and I'm like, Kelsey's signature that he signs is his same as his art signature. So you get the two Kelseys. And the funny thing is he did it in gold marker too. So it looks very similar to that. But shout outs to Kelsey. Thank you for letting us do this and having us send these out. So those will be sent out next week. Brandon's back, everybody. What did you learn while you're gone?
Nothing. He's not out in front or out in the back.
Not out in front or in the back. All right, you want to show off?
But it'll be any time now, I'm sure.
Any second. Should we look at your statue then?
We could if you want.
Brandon put a lot of work into this statue. We showed you guys the Battletoad statue a couple weeks ago that we printed out online, which is awesome. I need to paint that sometime this millennia. But Brandon actually took initiative. He painted his statue. I told you guys about it. We haven't shown it.
Oh, you sold him about it already?
I think I talked about that you printed one out too.
Called or something right now.
All right, Brandon's getting called. The box guy might be here.
You could show it off if you want.
Cool. So here it is. Might be easier for me to show it off anyways. And we'll do a little zoom in too. Check it out. If you guys love Blade Runner 2099, is it? It's the chick. Now, Brandon watched the movie, got a little obsessed with it, you know, because Ryan Gosling is literally him in that film. So there's the chick. Printed this in clear resin. The hair as well. The sign. So we can do clear resin now. The buildings all stack on top of each other. Pretty sick. And yeah, I want him to make a video about this. I wanted to show this off first because he went a little above and beyond for himself here. It's a little wire. And I'll show you if I could unplug this and then plug this in to the computer. Oh shit, it lights up. Look at that. That is so freaking cool. So a bit about this too is you see the lights are on, but you'll see that they flicker. Now he has a, what are they called? Little freaking chip that you program. Someone probably knows it in the chat. It's like it's not, sounds like Adreno, but it's not. I'm just not thinking of it right now. But he's able to program it, and the way he programmed it to happen randomly, the lighting, is he asked a chat bot like ChatGPT, hey, could you write a code for this to randomly flicker between 250 seconds and 300 seconds or more than that? And then the chat was like, yeah, it's not an adrenochrome pocket pet, Shelby. Anyways, it wrote a code where it would flicker randomly, and then another code where he would it would do it at a random time. So thought that was super cool. It's got the flicker, so it's like a little desk lamp statue. Pretty sweet. So there you go. Hats off to Brandon. Not adrenaline either. Not a diode. Adreno. It's I should just yell to Brandon and ask him what it is. We were just literally talking about them too. It's like microchip programming, guys. What's the thing called that you programmed in this?
It's an Arduino board.
Arduino board. Sorry. I'm sure you guys are bored. But yeah, it's an Arduino board. So there you go. Came out really good. And hopefully Brandon does a video on it. He probably won't. Let's see, what time is it?
I'll do it.
He says he'll do it.
Do it because that's cool. Happy how it turned out.
Yeah, maybe we could break into like the 3D printing side of YouTube and get more subscribers and viewers that are into that stuff. All right. More updates. Is it available on his Etsy store? No, I mean, we could put them on our site, our Zaid Comics site, if people want some. We got Unhinged Entertainment in the chat. I got to plug my mouse back in. What is up, Jason? Good to see you. Scrolling here. Jay Ryan says, if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off. Appreciate that. We are going to get to a guest. Actually, let me see if I could send. I'm just going to make sure that he's still up for this. But in the meantime, more updates for you guys. If you guys haven't seen, I've been crazy, staying up really late, back at night. It's feeling like it's freaking 2020 again, working on comics, lettering, staying up really late at night, lettering pages for the Lost Pages, which is so fun. Just did a badass double page spread. If you guys saw the creative block, I showed off a little bit of that spread. A really cool fight between Jazz and some cage fighters. Now we're getting really deep into the pages of the book, and I got some new colors in today, which I wanted to show off briefly. We see Jazz after she's bested another gangbanger, kicking some ass. Let's see what else we got in here. So beautiful colors by our boy Eugene. Super excited to see this. Like I sent these colors to Ricardo today, who's the artist of this, and he's like, man, I said this before, but I really can't wait to see this book in actual print. And it's so cool that he's excited about it, because it makes me even more excited about it. Who did I send these pages to? They're not full pages, so there's no spoilers on here. Some of the stuff you may have seen before in black and white. Here is another one of them. Let's see. Yeah. Her getting stuck in the neck, sedated, and just the expression on Jasmine's face in this, and kind of the expression on the doctor, the professor, who you guys will learn much more about in here. I know we've talked about Wastoid, who is a big bad character, kind of the antithesis of Krim. But this guy is kind of our mastermind character. You know, he's the one pulling all the strings. Wastoid works for this guy. And the whole plot, you know, is kind of constructed by this guy, and what he wants and why he wants Jasmine. Pretty nefarious. Angela says that's insane. Love that panel. Yeah, I was very careful in taking these screenshots, because there's some spoilers in the background. This is like the bottom corner of the page, so there's some stuff on there that, you know, really lead to spoilers and what the story is all about. Let's see. We need a logical story-based reason to get Jazz and Heather Swain to... My God, Bobby. What is going on there?
Jesus!
Phil is trying to edge the... Yeah, this is what we were talking about yesterday on the creative block. It's all about the suspense. Edging the audience. Her shirt is historic, heroically holding her massive rack. Yes. Yes. Syringes that size scare the F out of me. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. A syringe filled with pure oxygen. It's very, I guess, Hyper Wizard's very afraid of that stuff. So a lot of progress happening every day on a bunch of, you know, awesome projects. We even got a little update this week on the People's story from the Lost Pages. I could pull that image up really quick. Let's see, right here. The People, by beautiful art by Dan Dahl and Avery Butterworth inking him. So much fun in this. Like, this is my superhero outlet, obviously. And if you guys love like Frank Miller, Daredevil, I've said it before, the People, you're definitely going to love this character. And it kind of shows the supernatural side of the world of the Lost Pages versus the more grounded, just, you know, human side, where the People doesn't have any powers, the Silhouette does, and they fight in this a couple times in this second issue here. So just every time I see Dan's work, he's just pulling out all of the stops here. And it's funny because I showed this image to Edwin, aka Buzz Acevedo. He's like, oh, is the People in a different outfit? And yeah, it's funny he noticed that he gets hurt in this issue. He fights with the Silhouette, and he has a buddy that patches him up and works on his tech, stuff like that. And he actually gets a shoulder guard, which is new. He gets a new bat, which is basically the same bat. It's just a new, the other one got messed up. So that, have a little bit of that. And what else did we show? We showed this, which is Ricardo drawing the Masquerade, who has an appearance in the Lost pages. So those of you out there who are Masquerade fans and love that more pulp style character, and the Masquerade is going to make an appearance. He is, I would say, the glue that holds this series together. And I just love seeing different artists draw these characters, seeing Ricardo's version of the Masquerade in this really cool page. It's going to be very, very cool. I can't wait to see it colored. So Masquerade's going to be in there. Jason says, just back. No idea why I didn't before. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, we were very close to getting to 40,000. I'll check. Let me actually pull it up. I'll check, see what we're at now. Here, let's see. Oh, we're so close. And at 40K, we do unlock that Kenneth Rocafort card, that trading card, which is amazing. We're going to try throughout this series to get more playing cards, because he did do a Silhouette playing card by Kenneth Rocafort. I just got his notification that I'm getting my Grokin in the mail. So shout out to Kenneth, fulfilling like a mad lad, always drawing, so intense. Just the best art. It is insane. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see the stretch goals. There's the animated series trading cards. So if you guys are a fan of the Bruce Timm style, we got one of those to add to the collection. 6 a.m. Comics sticker, bookmark by the amazing Doug Mankey and the amazing Ghost House. Scroll down, and here it is, Kenneth Rocafort trading card, the playing card, the King Crim playing card. That is, man, I can't wait to see that in print too. So cool. So back it if you guys have not yet, and let's get to 40. So all you great comic book readers will get that card as well. We do have 2 covers, as you guys know. We've seen it. If some people, if you haven't seen this before, let me know. I'm sure you have. But I have one more thing to show you for channel members. Let me actually send this link to the man himself, Mr. Adam Lawson. And this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. This is a little sneak peek. If you guys don't know, we have channel memberships, and for the second tier channel members, the Zaid Raiders, you get comic strips that we make on the side that we've been making while we make our comics. One of the comic strips is the Masquerade. There's 5 strips so far, telling a new story, introducing new characters, just kind of to keep up the lore of these characters while we do our main comics. And we just put out strip number 5 today. So if you guys are Zaid Raiders, you okay? Yeah. If you guys are Zaid Raiders, then definitely go check that out. All right. I'll take a little second here to send him the link. I'll be right back, guys. Back. Hold on. All right, we're back. People are saying Zaid brother down. Yeah, I think Brandon. They probably just heard me ask if you were okay. Seems like he cut his finger on something. We'll get him back in here and show all the gruesomeness. Tomorrow, guys, before Adam comes in here, hopefully he does. Let me give him a text reminder. And I was going to send the link to Brian Kriskow as well. Let me text him really quick. Might be going. Well, the plan is Renaissance Fair, guys. Going to the Renaissance Fair with a big group. Let me see. Adam Lawson. And we already went, or I already went once this year. Very fun. Nice and cool out, too. Sent the link on X. On X. It's called X now. Super glue helps. Everybody says, I hope Brandon is all right. I don't know if I can live in a world with only one Diaz brother. Sound effects on point. Josh is here, says, oh, dang. What's up, Josh? What happened to Brandon? It seemed like he lifted too many boxes of cash grab books, so blame it on Cecil. And I guess he fell, but he didn't really fall. He kind of like sat down onto the ground. So I don't know what really happened. Hopefully he didn't crush anything. Wait, is this true? Snarkticon DM? Let me check. Is that right?
Today is Friday in California. Huh? True.
It is. It's Friday in California. And let me find a Mr. Brian Kriskow. Send him the link. If they don't show up, they don't show up. You know? Oh, no. Look at this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you 30 being here. Friday night, you could be anywhere else, but you chose the Zaid Comics channel because you love comics, because you love the Diaz brothers. And without further ado, our first guest of the night, a man that is an amazing writer, a man that has his hands in so many pots at once, not even enough time for himself, but he chose to come on the show. The writer of the hit comic Exiled, everybody. Here he is, and here's a little entrance music for him, too. Mr. Adam Lawson.
Boom.
What's up, brother?
Thank you, Phil. That was too kind of an intro. That is for sure. Far too kind. Yeah, the Exile. You know, it's funny. It's not covered there for the Exile that you showed.
Yes.
For issue 4. That was my favorite one. I love this artist. I just love what he did. I would say of the variants, because I love Preston the most, but I just loved his feel for it. It was really cool.
Yeah, I really dug that. That's why I grabbed this one. So cool. Thank you for being on here, man. And this is what I love too. Now that we're doing this show, which is kind of like a talk show kind of feel to it on Fridays. Now we could have people on, and now that we have buddies that are making comics, I could actually have the comics and pull them up, to show people if they've never seen your work before. But yeah, now of course, it's been a month since you put out a book, and now you have another campaign. Psycho Killers just came in the mail a few weeks ago for me.
Yeah, we did this wild thing. So Psycho Killers, we finished the book, then did the campaign, right? And then I was able to ship it less than 2 weeks after the campaign ended. People were starting to get it.
Yeah.
And so we're doing the same thing with this bad boy, with the Kill Journal.
Yes, already done. Look at that.
Yeah, it's foil cover. Maxi Dallo, who I know you know well.
Yes.
His finest, right? Delivering that.
So
and see, it's cool, right? It's cool to be able to hold the thing and not refer to a digital copy, right? But to be like, hey, here's the pages. Here's what it looks like. You're going to get this versus you could get this in 3 years. You don't know where the heck's my honeycomb. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But here it is. And you see, Maxi, who you love for Lost Pages. And it's, that was where I first found him too.
Yeah.
and him combined with Mike Spicer is just such a combo of those lines. Thank you, Admiral Wackness. No, he really liked Psycho Killers, Admiral. Thank you. He put some very favorable reviews, but it's so cool to kind of hold it and say, we have this thing, we created it, you're getting in on this. And this is a special edition of it. It's limited to a certain number of copies. It's going to go into mainstream publication, but you're going to get it first. And you're going to get the ultimate collector's edition, right? It's foil. It'll be numbered. It'll be signed, right? Something, at least for me, there's something extra level about that. You know, like I was just at the comic shop today. I went to the coolest comic book shop I've ever been to. I just got off a night shoot, and on the way back, I thought, oh, I was in the area. It's called Revenge of Comics and Pinballs, and it's this pinball comic book shop, right? Yeah. And like incredible pinball arcade, like I've never seen. Beautiful display on the comics, and so very cool. Very little big two titles, like a couple just of the kind of the key ones, but mostly other titles, right? So it's an amazing place. But I went there, you know, to get some variants, you know, on Big Game.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody's not reading Big Game, it's like, you know, Millar, I think, is one of the greats. It's
I
just
still
such
want to
rad...
read it, but I need to read everything else, like all the stuff that I haven't that goes into that, because it's kind of like a collapse of his whole everything he owns, right? All of his like Wanted, right. Nemesis, all the Kick-Ass, it's all that wrapped into one, which is so cool.
Well, Nemesis Reloaded, Nemesis Reloaded, the trade is out, and it will blow your mind. So I know, and he said you should read some Hit Girl, so I picked up this as well too, the Hit Girl in Canada.
Yeah.
But it is, I'm dying. But like, what an amazing shop! But it was fun to go there, pick up variants, you know, to collect something, right? But like, you get this variant, and it's cool, right? It's cool, but it's not foil, it's not signed, it's not numbered, right? It's just a cool book, and it'll cost extra, and it's a 1 in 100 cover kind of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I could get something that exclusive, which it's not going to be $20 at your comic shop, right? It's going to be, it's going to be 100. It's such a cool thing, at least for me, I think. And so hopefully we can kind of give a little bit of that to the backers, that special experience.
Definitely. I mean, that's what I felt with Psycho Killers, which Adam did that same thing. He did the foil. They were numbered, signed.
Yep.
So such a cool experience. And now this is like a side story in your Kill Journal universe. So some of the people in the chat may not have grabbed Kill Journal back in the day when you first put it out. That is amazing. And what you did too, you even made that an experience as well for the original Kill Journal. That was a hardcover with that red. It was just so cool. And so, you know, anytime
you see it back there, the red faux leather.
Yes.
Right?
So, you know, anytime Adam does a campaign, he really tries to go above and beyond to make what the backers get something special. So that Kill Journal with these like almost like debossed runes and glyphs in the leather, so cool. I have it on my bookshelf. It's awesome. Just tell people a little bit about the Kill Journal. Actually, Brandon just got back here. Brandon, my brother, who was cutting.
Hey,
what happened? The chat wants to know, before you got in here, Adam, there was a stumble and we thought Brandon fell down. We're actually getting super chats for the emergency room visit. Thank you for that, Nail Bunny. What happened there, Brandon?
So the boxes of comic books they're pretty heavy, and the only reason I say this is because the boxes like threw me back off of balance, and I went to restabilize myself with my leg, but there was a box of comic books on the floor that was too heavy for me to push out of the way, and it all happened at once. So I fell backward onto this box of bundled up Ethernet cables. So it was just like falling onto a cushion. But before that, I scraped my finger on the ground in here, which is kind of like painted concrete. And oh my God, I was bleeding like a pig.
Yeah.
It was like an arterial cut,
So
even though it's just on my knuckle. It's like shooting blood out
So
like
there's going to be some
crazy.
cash grabs covered in Brandon blood.
No, maybe the boxes. I hope not. But yeah, it hurts. Like the wound actually hurts. So afterward, I'll probably have to clean it up. But
all right,
those things are gone. They're on their way back to Cecil.
Yes,
and,
finally. There's a bunch more room now in here.
Yeah, they were
All the
taking up a
boxes are
lot
gone.
of space. At least 8 by 3 feet worth of space.
We did it. All right, before we continue here, I'm going to give it a little quick short bonk for this super chat. And here you go. Thank you. All right, Adam, back to the kill journal. What is because this is basically, I don't know, I would say almost like a universe. It's its own contained universe that you've made here for the kill journal. Horror fans are going to love it. Why don't you kind of tell what the basic premise of the kill journal is, and we can get into this this new side story here.
Yeah, so to kind of give you in this world. So first of all, the kill journal is a tale that happened. Is a story of what happens after the horror movie ends. When there's those last few survivors covered in blood and mud, and their friends are all dead, and their lives are in ruins. What happens next? Well, in this tale, they end up on the steps of St. George's Church, right here, Mr. St. George. And he offers them an answer, a way to cope with their trauma. And what he offers them is revenge. All right. And so you have essentially the story of trauma survivors is the core of it, right? It's trauma survivors trying to put their pieces of their lives back together in this ultra-violent and ultra-vulnerable world of hunting revenants or slashers, right? Because slashers and revenants are cool because there's a lot of empathy for them because in many ways they were abused kids or they were somebody that society did something evil to them, right? And now they're a vengeful spirit back from the dead, hungry for revenge. But what they're doing is far too awful, right?
Right.
So you have to take them down, but there's this double-edged sword. So this is the story of essentially these survivors of these revenant attacks being pulled together by this mad preacher who's bent on ridding the world of these revenants. And so I love to say that, you know, this expression of it's both violent and vulnerable, right? Because you're dealing with people's most vulnerable sides and a large amount of character development. And then it's also this quite violent world, right? Because they're fighting revenants. People are getting killed. The enemies they're fighting are too strong for them. They can't take them in a direct fight, right? They have to learn the history of how and the origin of how this revenant was created, you know, where they drowned at Camp Crystal Lake. And then they have to recreate some sort of trap that takes them back there to kill them for good. So as a result, they have to be detectives, they have to be fighters, and they're always being hounded by an enemy they can't take in an open fight.
Yeah,
so
it's really interesting how you come up with different ways of how these specific revenants or slashers, it's the only way you could take them out. And that kind of like brings you back to that feeling of like a Friday the 13th where this guy won't stop coming. You could shoot him, you know, you could stab him and he's not going to stop because there's some other entity or something like a relic or something there that needs to be taken out in order for this monster to be, got rid of. So it kind
Correct.
of lends like very creative like elements for yourself, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I like what horror can do because you're dealing with such kind of these dark, heavy themes, but you can really explore characters because of the extreme circumstances you can put them in. And then you also don't get bogged down with like modern social issues because you're facing an evil spirit back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
So you can remove sort of like the underpinnings of modern social nuance, and you can deal with stronger themes. And I love here, you know, look at these panels by Maxie and Mike. Just all the storytelling. I think that's one of Maxie's strengths. Right? There's so much facial expression in his images, right? Like you just look at that panel of St. George looking over at Finch, because what's happened is in our story is that St. George lost his son to a revenant and Finch lost his dad to a revenant. So they've kind of been brought together to hunt Mr. Crispy down. And
the perfect pairing, like, because in the book, the Kill Journal that came out a while ago, you kind of explore Finch's backstory, and you're introduced to Mr. Crispy, who's an amazing name for a revenant.
That's Brian Kreisgau, by the way, who came up with that name. So I won't take
Brian,
credit. But,
who actually wrote this as well, which is so cool to see him back on the character with you as well. So when you had Finch and St. George, did you always know that there was going to be this kind of like this kind of team up or like kinship between them because of those two elements? Or were you like, oh, I have a character who lost a son, and now I have a character who lost a dad, this is kind of perfect?
Yeah, I think I always felt that he was the first one. That he was always the first recruit.
Yeah.
Right. And so as a result, that pairing as it came to come, I think, as I wanted to tell this story, because I pitched it out to Brian on what the story should be, and then he gave it, breathed a good life into it. Was that initial moment of them losing their father or their son. And so I'd always imagined that when I was writing the first one, which, by the way, you can get on the campaign. It's just $15. They're all done. It's 132 pages. It's awesome.
Perfect.
But if you don't want that, it's no big deal. Just this standalone is all you need. It's its own whole story. But I'd always wanted to see that moment, initial partnering, when there wasn't Sydney or Marty or Brecken or any of the other characters. Mm-hmm. That added a lot more complexity. It could just be about this boy who kind of behaves like a dog, right? Because he grew up in the dog fighting pits on the Texas-Mexico border.
Right.
And one day when his dad didn't have a dog to come fight, he shoved his son in the ring. And then years later, he's tearing pit bulls' throats out with his teeth. So he's like this scrawny guy, but he's by far the most deadly guy in the group, right? And I liked that feeling because I grew up with this kid in my neighborhood who I was somewhat friends with, but like there was this guy who would always hit him with snowballs, right? And he was like kid wearing a sweater, very quiet. He was always throwing snowballs at him when he would get home from school. And then one day he went inside and he got his dad's gun and he came out and he shot the kid's dog. And he was the least suspecting person you could imagine. But after that moment, that kid never threw another snowball at him again. And the thing about it was he was this little scrawny kid, but you're like, oh, that guy is going to do something. He's going to take it to the absolute limit. And so you were terrified of this guy. And I liked that feeling in this character, right? That he was like, hey, that's the little guy. But boy, he's going to actually just dig his thumb into my eyeball and rip it out. So I just going to keep real distance with that guy. And if I stab him, he's not even going to care because he's just going to keep going till he dies. And I liked that feeling in a character so much that like the most frightening guy was not the big guy.
God damn. Now people are saying justice for Doggo in the chat. Yeah, that's brutal. That actually happened?
Yeah, no, that's a real story. That's a real story.
It's more acceptable to have shot the other kid
than the dog.
The dog.
It's the most unbelievable thing. So, and it was a weird thing because you can't, because it's property, not, killing a dog isn't like, and because he'd been hitting him with these snowballs all this time, it was a kind of a complex situation because technically it was harassment and assault because he would hit him so hard with these snowballs. It was technically assault. So what the other kid was doing to him was actually a greater crime than shooting the dog. So just nothing happened.
That's wild.
So just nothing happened. And it was just like, and everybody just kind of knew, don't cross that guy.
Yeah.
He's quiet. He doesn't say much, but don't think he's the one you pick on. Don't get any stupid ideas. Because who knows what may happen next time. It might be the dog. It might be you. It might be your sister. You don't want to mess with that kid. So, but that kind of forever sort of stuck with me.
I could imagine. But that's cool that you're kind of taking that life experience of someone, putting it into a character. Finch is very, very complex. I'd really dig just his backstory and the story arc you're putting him through here. You're seeing him now at a different stage of his life interacting with St. George, and obviously we get to see Mr. Crispy again, which is so cool. This action is awesome. Love what Maxie's doing, and just seeing him over the years level up. Like you said, Adam, if you guys are in the chat have read the Lost Pages, he did work on the silhouette from the first one and the second book. He also did Jack Irons. He did Kids and Monsters with you, which was so cool. And
totally.
Now he's moved. Is he living now in the U.S.? I think he just moved to Texas.
No, he moved to Dallas now. He's in Dallas
Very cool.
now, and he's working on another book for me. And here's the Kids and Monsters.
Yes,
which Maxie did and Mike did together too. Same team. And I just freaking love all the energy and sense of motion he creates.
Yeah,
he's the real deal. Maxie Dallo is the real deal. That's for sure.
Yeah. Super cool.
And I feel like, Phil, you kind of discovered him, brought him to the crowd here, right?
Yeah, well,
I feel like
I think I saw him on Jack Irons, and he was working with Steve
that's
Cannon,
what it was. Okay,
colorist on there, and I scooped him up.
Steve's
over
a great guy.
Lost Pages. Yeah, he actually did one of our probably the first sequential story we ever made, even before Magic Cop, was that a story that was in the Lost Pages, the Myths of the Lost Pages supplemental book, was with our character Wildcard. And that's the first time I've ever really worked with him and anyone really on anything sequential. So yeah, we got our start together. How many pages is this dossier?
Yeah, so here's what's exciting. So the Dossier book is 28. This is 28 pages of this story. And then there's 8 pages, an 8-page Ashcan story in the back of it for Jawbone Death.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, that page is on the campaign, right? Let me see.
That page is on the campaign.
There it is. I'm gonna blow this up. This is so cool. This is something that I'm super excited about. I know nothing about it other than Jason Krager is working on it, but it totally looks up my alley. It looks like heavy metal Lobo 2080 wrapped into one, man. It looks great.
That's exactly right. It is all those things in one. And Jason Krager has been doing the most badass pages ever, traditionally, right?
See this.
You can see, look at these.
Whew.
Right?
That's so cool.
Just the most incredible wrap cover.
Yeah.
Just amazing work. And there's something that happens to Jason when he works traditionally. Because Jason did the Kill Journal. He did the original book.
Yes.
Plus he did a story for The Exiled as well. So he and I have done nearly 200 pages of books. But what he's doing on this, when he starts to get in that traditional space, he becomes a new artist. He just when you look at the level of this wrap cover, it's I can't, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah. So that's it. So there's 8 pages of that and 28. So all again, it's 36 pages of story. It's foil cover. And what's crazy, I think you guys know this from printing, the printing costs on a foil book for this guy and to number it, that's an extra fee, etc. To foil is more than this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It's crazy. It's oh, it's so cool. It's but you don't realize, and because it's really specialty. But but both these are done, and we'll put the print order in right. And I have a special printer who does these, and she does them for me in a weekend. I just put in the book, and then on Monday Friday, and then Monday she ships it.
Wow, that's
it's
awesome.
Insane.
That's good turnaround there.
No, it's the most insane turnaround. But since these are already printed and done as well too, these things are just going to go right out the door as soon as this campaign ends.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So you have the preview for Jawbone Death. Do we have any idea of when that book, like a standalone Jawbone Death thing, will come out, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so Jason and I are about 26 pages into it.
Nice.
So we've been kind of debating on because what I'm trying to do is get that one. I've never done this before where I would do just single issues, a campaign for each issue.
Ooh, okay.
But do a foil cover for each issue that's signed and numbered, and do it for a whole arc, like 5 singles. So we've been kind of debating that, and so we kind of talked about October. I'm a little worried it might be too much on top of this one, and we might have like kind of a diminishing returns with this 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But I think it may be the case. But either way, it will be soon. So if you back this, you can get the preview first, and you can read it, and you can be primed. So I mean, that's kind of what's the debate is. Maybe that's maybe a little bit too much behind the scenes thought on it.
No, I love knowing that stuff, because you are so much of a business guy. It seems like you have. I mean, obviously, you have so much going on at once. Like, I don't even know how you have time in the day to write and letter things on top of your day job and doing all your other stuff. It is crazy. So a lot of the time I look to you for stuff like that and kind of like laying out campaigns.
No, I know it's kind of nuts. So to make it all work, like while we started this stream, I was just delivering a budget for the next commercial I'm shooting, like this, just firing that off.
Yeah.
But it's really, because I shoot probably 2 to 4 commercials a month, and sometimes we're shooting TV as well. So it's like but I love so much that I can't let it go. So it's like it spits into every crack it can.
Yeah.
I remember I was shooting this commercial for the Kids' Choice Awards, and while I was on set for that, I was lettering a book. You know what I mean? Like, relight, okay. It's like the craziest thing to be doing that kind of playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
But it was just like I love it too much. I can't like let this world go. And the fans are too cool. Like, you don't quite get this dope of fans almost anywhere else.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. And going to conventions this year and meeting people, meeting the readers, it's been so cool. Like, just putting names to faces from the chat and from people backing us, people that I don't even know that have just only backed us, that really don't go in the chat, coming up to us and being like, "Oh, I love the stuff," And it's very, 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 very awesome. For you as a writer, how many different projects are you working on at once? Because obviously you have Kill Journal, just did Kids and Monsters, Psycho Killers, which you're overseeing, and Jawbone Death. What is your kind of like Google Docs look like?
Yeah, so I try to limit. So I wrote and lettered all of The Exiled, and Phil, I think you and I, we're writer letterers, and I think, to be honest, I don't know why that isn't the standard in the industry.
Yeah,
to be that same person, because in a way, it's the only way you as a writer actually do anything for your book, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just hand it to somebody else, and you never touched it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I make a television show, I was just shooting last night. I'm directing it or producing it, and so if I'm directing it, I don't hold the camera, I don't say the lines because I'm not the actor, and I don't hang the lights, and I don't run and buy the props. You're commanding these things, but in the end, I didn't make it with my hands. You know what I mean? Even though my hands are all in it, I didn't physically make one part of it. And so, and maybe for some folks that's fine. But for me, with making comics, what's cool is that they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Lettering the stuff definitely makes me feel like I'm more part of the project. And we've talked about this before. It gives you like a final pass on dialogue and stuff, cutting things, and putting stuff in.
That's right, because it's like, and you are starting to think more clearly about what you're doing, your choices, right? Because when you start to think about, I'll write this scene, and you realize, man, that's way too many words.
Yeah.
And you know what those words are, and you start to see when you write a line on the page, you see what it's going to be when you ultimately go back in and have to letter it. And so you changes how you write things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of the times too, you could condense it and kind of just get the real essence of the line and what needs to be put across there, especially if your artist doesn't leave you a lot of room for balloons.
Totally. And I think that, like, because Maxi sometimes will do that to me. And the thing about also what it does is it makes you rethink. You're saying, it happens to me on set too last night when I was shooting, right? And there was a moment where the actor didn't say a line. I felt like, he needs to say something here. And then the vice versa would happen, right? That when you start to see that actor's face, you're like, actually, you don't need those words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think something starts to happen when you're lettering something. You're like, oh, actually, we don't need those words. Or then you look at the expression in a panel and you're like, boy, we need words here, right? To maybe get it to land or to hit home. And so, and a letterer can't make that choice for you, right? They can't just like make the choice like, hey, I was lettering your page. And I thought you didn't need half the lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no good letterer comes back to you and tells you that. Eric Weathers, great letterer. He doesn't say, oh, I just edited your script, by the way, and dumped half your lines.
Right.
So, you can make choices that a regular letterer can't.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I think you can do better lettering than they can, because you can make the choices they can't.
I agree. So, I would agree. You're right to say that I am a better letterer than Eric Weathers, and I appreciate it. I'm glad I get the cross.
Yeah, Eric, Eric Weathers, that is what a talented, excellent letterer, right? Like a master craftsman.
Powerhouse. Yeah, he's lettering everything. He just launched his book today, too. Battlebrick Road 2.
Yeah, and Battlebrick Road, which I, if you didn't get the first one, I got the rad Kelsey Shannon variant of the first one, a Kickstarter. Yes. So dope. Yeah. But Eric, right? Like, amazing talent, but he can't tell the story in the exact same way that you can, because he can't make that choice.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And so there's this. I got inspired on it early on. Did you guys ever read the comic book Chew that was on Image about the guy?
No, I've never read it, but I heard it's good. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's funny. It's crazy. It's like in this new world, like meat's illegal, and like this guy can eat flesh and then like learn its story.
Mm-hmm.
But there was only two guys who made it. One guy wrote it and lettered it, and the other guy did all the art, right? And I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's a real team, right? Because the artist is doing so much more physical work than a writer.
Yeah.
That even that out. And then he also did the design and the assembly of the book and et cetera. So it's like it helped really even out their weight a bit more, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that lettering and drawing is the same time. They're not. I don't mean to say that, but it helps craft that. And also, too, it's like when you're doing it indie, like it saves you money. And
for sure.
Anyways, so that's kind of my feeling with it. I think maybe people have other thoughts with it. But even like Frank Miller early on, he would letter some of his own books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Daniel Warren Johnson sometimes letters pieces of his own stuff. So I think there's something there, right?
Yeah, it's all like very cohesive at that point too. Cranberry Laners has a question here before we take off. He says, do you have a designated editor? If you didn't already say this, for me, we use Steve Dye. We've used him in the past for copy editing. And then more recently, for the last few books, I've been hitting up Lee Kimosabi from Australia. Does like my story editing stuff, and I've sent stuff to you as well, Adam, to look at too. You did a couple awesome passes on actually the Lost Pages 3. This one,
yeah, dude, I loved Lost Pages 3. I've just loved the Lost Pages in the beginning. I loved the characters that you were putting together.
Thank you.
For me, it's always worked. And I loved reading Lost Pages 3. And but I think like editing, I think for myself, there's sort of like sort of three phases of that. One is like the editing of the script phase, right? You write something and then you, like you're saying, feel like send it to you, you send it to me, you send it to a few other creatives that can help you shape like the creative side of the writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you spent too much pages here. I don't think this part of your story is landing. This setup doesn't really pay off well enough in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like bigger picture creative work. So I think that's kind of phase one. And then there's phase two of it, like when you start to get into the minutia, right? Where you start to get pages and panels, right? And then I think there's another pass. So Tonpa actually edits for me. He did My Kids and Monsters.
Oh, nice.
And so once I get kind of more into that phase, and I pitch him out things, and he's a good sounding board. And then I have one final editor that does a grammar pass and then suggests things on that front. So I kind of bounce it between those groups, and then to help refine it, you know.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that's the way to do it too, because I'm not good at spelling or grammar, so I definitely need someone to help me with that stuff.
And I wasn't either. I wasn't either, Phil. And then I bought these two books called On Grammar, kind of like the collegiate classics of them.
Yeah,
collegiate classics and grammar, and I just read them. And then I have Grammarly, and then I started to, when it would suggest something, I would then read the rule on why it suggested that.
Yeah.
And then I would start to remember all the rules. And then it dramatically improved my grammar, because I'd go, oh yeah, that's right. The rule is this, 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 and this. Oh yeah, this is when the comma comes. This, yeah. And it would help remind you of these things, so you started to see it yourself. Anyways.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, so that's the editing process. But here we go, guys. Go check out the Kill Journal. I pinned the link to the top of the chat. Everybody's been dropping links. Thank you so much. Everybody, all the mods in the chat. And Adam, thank you for coming on. We'll have to do this again.
Sure, dude. No, thanks for listening, chat. You guys are awesome. Maromi, always out there. And two cool things to check on the campaign. If you scroll down real fast before I jump, there's a rad patch, which those are already done too. You can see they're actually cool.
Kick ass.
They're actually cool. And because we're gifted rebels, because we're the rebellious ones here in this in this group.
That's right.
But we do have talent and message, and then the T-shirt. I loved that cover so much. I needed to wear it, and I think you should want to wear it too.
Hell yeah!
But that's the deal. But yeah, thanks, Phil, and the Diaz bros in the bros on tonight. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, 30 people hanging out here on a Friday night. That's cool.
That's right. Cool. We usually have more, but everybody else is streaming. But we're going to be shouting this out. Everybody, if you guys can't back today, hit that heart on Indiegogo so it gives you the updates and reminds you to back. And this is a limited run, right? For these? A limited run?
Yeah, it's a limited run. Yeah. We're gonna, 500 is the max it would be. But whatever we end the campaign at, I'm going to cut it off and number it from there. Rounded to the nearest 50. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. All right, guys, we're going to send you over to Bancroft's tonight. So tell him we said hi. We were streaming on Rumble as well. So I don't know if anyone's over there, but hello. If you're over there on Rumble, go to Bancroft's, and we will see you guys on Monday with another stream. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
See ya. Hold on. We got oh, yeah. Rip Cheese. Wait, hold on. We have the super chats. If you want to stay for a couple of super chats, Adam, feel free, or you could take off.
Oh, please. The people who donated, they deserve it.
All right. Thanks for reminding me, Brandon. Bobby with $4.99, $5 says Shelby should send Brandon some emergency ramen to heal his wounds.
He is very selfish with the ramen.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to share.
He doesn't want to share his ramen. And then Jason, my brother, says $5 for Brandon to get his fingers sewn, I think, back on. Get well soon, Brandon. There you go. Everybody's pulling for you.
Thanks.
How's your finger?
Brandon, I mean, you might not have a business. You might, if comics doesn't work out for you, you could have a business being injured. Just, look at all these super chats, fall down some stairs, trip over things, hit your wall. You'd just be raking it in.
I don't think this is
There's
moral.
a vacuum of physical comedy that Chris Farley left behind. I could be falling through coffee
That's right.
tables and getting hit in the head by 2x4s.
To gain some weight, though. All right, here's another bonk, and then we'll see you guys later. Tell Bancroft we said hi. Bye, everybody.